Hello and welcome to the Truth About Storytelling. If you can't hear it in my voice, I am definitely under the weather this week, so I am doing things a little bit differently than planned. Originally, I meant to read several chapters of Darkblade Forged out loud this week as kind of a special week between regular events. But because I have a sore throat and a really bad sinus illness, I'm going to forgo that and get back to more regular episodes next week. But I did want to do a quick touch point episode this week and mention a little bit of how this past year has been for me and look at what's coming ahead. So let's see how quickly I can do this before my throat gives out. So I've done a lot of writing this year. I built up this podcast with more solo episodes, and I opened it up for author interviews. And that's been such a gift. I am deeply grateful to every author who shared their time and creativity with me. I also went to 2 conferences and did several live table events, including one at a car show, which surprised me by being far more fun than I expected. Sometimes the most unexpected spaces are the most welcoming. So I didn't publish a new novel this year or even put out my book of poetry, which was a little frustrating for me. And I really had to wrestle with that a bit. And I decided near the end of the year that what I would do before I finished the year was to put out a second edition of Light Reflections, a poetry book I published many years ago. So that second edition is now out in ebook and paperback. The hardback edition will come out as soon as I can possibly finish it, which should be sometime within the next week, depending on how I feel each day. So what will be coming next year is To Speak, my second poetry collection that I have already formatted and had prepped for ebook for quite a while. And I'm actually going to put that out into the world. It's going to be a quiet release. If you can help me out with that, that would be great. Please pop by my website or message me on Instagram if you'd like to take part in helping me with releasing To Speak in late January and early February. It will release on my PayHip store on my website in January and then go for a wide release in February. Early February, because in March I'll be running the Darkblade Trilogy Kickstarter. So those are plans that are kind of locked into place. They're already set to go. And so those will definitely be happening. I know that beyond that, I am looking at many more projects and some changes to my website and some other things, but I don't want to lock those in yet, partly because all the different things that have gone on in my life this year. So this year has been a pretty full year on the life side of things. Yes, I've been writing a lot, but a lot of it's been in my journal as I traveled to Asia for the very first time in my life, an experience that expanded my heart and perspective on my very first mission trip to Mongolia. I went thinking I would be serving others, and instead I found myself deeply served, encouraged, humbled, and reminded of the power and presence of faith. I stepped more fully into caring for my parents this year, which has been both tender and demanding. And this year I became a grandma, or rather a Gigi. My mom is grandma, my daughter's mother-in-law is Mimi, so I get to be Gigi. And honestly, I love it. A long time ago in French class in high school, we had to choose our own names, and I chose Gigi. So I've been Gigi before, and now I'm Gigi again to my grandson. I also had the honor this year of giving a few messages at my church, taking part in the church podcast team, and singing on the worship team. Moments that grounded me and reminded me why I create in the first place. So that's kind of where I've been and where I'm going. And I have to admit, yes, I am thankful, but also, honestly, because I'm sick right now, I'm a little tired. But at the same time, I'm deeply encouraged, and I'm still in love with storytelling. So thank you for being here, for listening, for reading, and for walking alongside me in this creative life. I'll be back next week with hopefully regular episodes, but next week will be a solo podcast week in which I intend to do 2 solo episodes, Monday and Wednesday, with a reading on Friday. I hope to have those actually scheduled out before the week begins, so there will be no problems with that. And I just want to thank you again for just being here and ask you, partly because I'm sick right now, please take care of yourself. Drink all the tea and the liquids that you need to do to stay healthy. Give yourself grace and keep tending the stories that matter most to you. Have a wonderful week and a happy new year.